Now, for the latest on Premier Li Keqiang's visit to India, let's speak to our correspondent Shweta Bajaj in New Delhi. Hello, Shweta. Tell us more about the joint statement issued by the two leaders.
Well, the joint statement that the two leaders issued talked about the fact that there's satisfaction in how the relations have developed from both the sides. They also said that they have modeled what they called a successful model for coexistence, and they said that they will look at improving ties further. Most of the talks were also about trade. The Indian Prime Minister said that he welcomes investment from China in the sector of infrastructure, a sector in which China would like to invest in India. From Indian side, there was satisfaction because China said that the trade imbalance that is witnessed at this point in time, there will be a working group that will be formulated, there will be a roadmap for the same, and there would be some sort of a balance in the trade in the next few years. They also talked about the fact that there will be some sort of a settlement in the border issue in the near future, and of course mentioning that both the countries are important to each other for a global sort of a growing Asia and to have peace and development in the complete region. Actually, I have with me Professor Madhav Nalapat. He has been working in the area of Sino-India relations for a very long time. He's of course also an honorary professor at the Manipal University. He joins me in the studio now. Professor Nalapat, many thanks for speaking with CCTV. First up, most of the issues that were discussed in today's meeting were about trade. There were also 3 working groups that have been formulated for the same. How important do you think trade is in the bilateral relationship?
Well, Shweta, economics comes first. I mean, let's not forget that when the Premier Li came to India the last time, India and China had the same size of economy. And today the Chinese economy is 4 times the size of India. So quite clearly there's a lot to learn from China. Now, so far as India is concerned, it's a huge market for China in energy, in telecom, in infrastructure. And China is a huge source of capital to India as well as technology for improving lives for billions of 2.5 billion citizens of both countries. So frankly, there's an amazing amount of synergy between India and China, and this synergy is what is driving the relationship forward.
Now, both sides have also said that they will work towards what they call a settlement in the decades-long border dispute. How big do you think it is as an achievement?
Well, the reality of the situation is that the border dispute has been coloring the relationship across the board. We see very few flights between India and China. There are a lot of visa difficulties between India and China. And we don't see the kind of tourist traffic that should be there between India and China. Frankly, there should be millions of tourists coming on either side of the border. All this is because of this border dispute. So what is very, very important is to have a kind of a standstill situation on the border and to ensure that the border dispute is contained in such a way that any kind of even minor incidents do not take place. Once that is done, the rest of the relationship will advance at a much higher speed. The problem today is each time the rest of the relationship advances, something happens in the border and the whole process is pushed backwards. This needs to be avoided in future.
But particularly what's happened this time round is that they have decided to come to some sort of a settlement. How important do you think that is?
I think it's very, very important from the point of view of Sino-Indian relations. Let's not forget that these two countries together have 2.5 billion people. They are the 2 largest countries in the globe in terms of population. And about 20 years later, they are going to be China is going to be the #1 economy in the world, and India is going to be the #3 economy in the world. As Premier Li very correctly said, if you want a rising Asia, there has to be a unity of purpose between India and China. This being the case, the question is one of priorities. Are you going to make the border disputes and the differences in perception the priority, or are you going to make this huge geopolitical canvas, this huge economic canvas the priority? My expectation is increasingly the synergy between the two countries is going to take pride of place, and once the relationship expands and improves, it's going to be much easier to settle the border issue.
Right, Professor Nalapat, many thanks for giving us your time. Professor Nalapat there joining us in the studios here in New Delhi, giving us an analysis of Chinese Premier Mr. Li's visit to India. Also, one of the statements that he made also mentioned that it's very important to have deepened and mutual understanding between both the neighbors for Asia, and not just for Asia, for the world. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Shweta Bajaj, reporting about Premier Li Keqiang's visit to India and also the Indian people's reaction on that. Now,